He didn't want to see the.
If you look, it froze right in the action of a shell going right into the ass of the Ag Panther. Either that or that thing's got some gas. Alright, what the hell was that, guys?
That was what happens when you rely utterly on vehicles to do your fighting and not invest in infantry.
And then mouth off like a douchebag. And then lose.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
The guy had it coming. The guy had it coming, man.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was really rooting for the Allied team after I heard that.
So what, in your opinion, Jack, what should the Germans have done? This should have been over for them a long time ago if they had played their cards right, but no, they failed epically.
I think they missed a few golden opportunities. When they should have rushed, they stopped and they repaired, which is a sensible thing to do, but it's kind of like what happened to Rommel in the desert. He almost won, but he waited, and that wait turned out to be crucial. It gave the Allies the time they needed to get their tanks behind a minefield and a nice defensive line, so he lost in the desert. These guys lost here. Now, I'm not saying these guys were anywhere near as bright as Rommel. They definitely had some trouble using their tanks in a consistent and well-microed manner, but they sort of did all right. What I think I really would have liked to see in this situation, though, is Two Guns was running a lot of armor. It would have been better if the other Axis player had gone Luftwaffe and brought out some Fallschirms with FG-42s.
Indeed, it's always important for someone, or someone to have units that deal with tanks, but also have units that deal with infantry, especially when you're fighting the Americans, which have, and in some cases the British, because they have their armies are utterly reliant on heavy infantry. They have the best infantry. And
I wouldn't say the best, but they are the most infantry oriented.
Yeah, exactly. They're the most infantry focused army, and not having any sort of anti-infantry force to counter that is really, really bad. I mean, you see all this power for killing tanks, but yet the Allies never once built tanks. All they did was build AT guns and infantry.
Actually, that's not entirely true. Greatness brought out a M4 Sherman and an M10 tank destroyer.
Oh, yeah. But for the most part, that's what they did.
Well, they were, from the looks of it, they were just merely for support, and unfortunately they just got annihilated.
Yeah, all their supports got taken out. The only things that were able to survive were the infantry and the AT guns. At least to a degree. But yeah, not having the resources to deal with those AT guns, as well as waiting too long when there's that golden opportunity to just go in and wipe them out, was definitely the key reason for their defeat in this case.
Yeah, you're right. This strat could have worked if they just had some AT gun counters. That was their Achilles heel in this case. Ironic, I know, David and Goliath and everything, but if they'd had some mortar half-tracks to burn out those AT guns, or the stereotypical PE MP44 blob, they probably would have done all right.
Well,
the thing is, they did have those for units. Unfortunately, they didn't micro them well.
That, and you're facing off against, aerial superiority. Those strafing runs were not fun.
That is true. Greatness did use her strafing runs pretty effectively, except for the one that was near her base. I don't know what happened there. That gunner was probably drunk.
So, what would you say was the commendable things that you saw in this match?
You want me to lead off on that?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely commend the fact that the Allies realized what they were up against fairly early on, and they deployed some pretty effective solutions. The amassed amount of AT guns, sticky bombs from the riflemen, not to mention a few free Panzer Shreks that they picked up, the airborne with recoilless rifles, which, though they spent a fair amount of time out flanking and capping other points, they did achieve their purpose in keeping down the enemy pop cap and causing a lot of trouble. I actually had the chance to open this up with the replay analyzer, and you can't tell it from the replay for some reason, but the Axis team had a lot of chatter going on, and they were sounding fairly frantic at times, just complaining about pop cap or running into AT guns or that sort of thing. They weren't really talking to each other to the point where they could come up with a solution. A few times one would say, I need this, I need that sort of thing, but they just didn't quite do it. I don't know if there's much good I can say about the Axis team. They did get some early light armor out, they got some early heavy armor out, so they definitely had a good plan worked out ahead of time, but it just kind of fell apart towards the mid-game, and especially in the late game. Most of the brilliant action I've been seeing is on the Allied side. They're the only ones who really have done anything that's worth saying anything about.
Agreed.
Well, it's kind of rare in our cases when just about every time we get a review, the Axis is the one that always wins.
Yeah, we wondered, why is that? Is it just because, I don't know, an Allied victory like this, we don't come across them very often. We don't know why. Maybe it's because all the good players wanted to play Axis for a while or something. But yeah, it was certainly nice to see the Axis get their butts handed to them for a change, as well as to have smack talkers get smacked back.
I certainly love that.
I think
Yeah,
I love to make.
that's
Well,
pretty
I'd love
much
to
why
make-
I named the review I did of this replay "Eating Crow."
so. Epic game. Definitely was nice having you, Jack. Hope to see you. Hope to see you in future vidcasts.
Oh, sure thing, Hellfox. Thanks for having me. Everybody else,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So from all us here at OSC,
people whose names don't matter, you know, Eclipse, Handsome Rob, yeah.
Okay, as I was saying, for all us here at OSC, this is Hellfox. We're signing out. Later, fellas.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night, and don't forget those AT guns.